working every day for Nigerians in the service for humanity.
We will consolidate cooperation with NTAs, private and donor agencies to make life better for Nigerians, Humanitarian Affairs Minister assures as she presents scorecard. Federal government flags off dry season farming with aerial and ground presence.
This is what we call ecotourism, and we reduce the modernism in places like this.
Nigeria's tourism potentials correspondent unveils a national treasure in limbo. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. Also reading with me tonight is Michael Olalaye in Lagos. Nigeria and Slovakia are to deepen and expand the highly beneficial relations between the two countries in various economic sectors. This was when President Muhammadu Buhari granted audience to the outgoing ambassador of Slovak Republic to Nigeria, Peter Holasek. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo brings us the details.
Ambassador Peter Halasek of the Slovak Republic was engaged virtually by President Muhammadu Buhari during the farewell audience. He is leaving Nigeria after a successful tour of duty that lasted 5 years. President Buhari congratulated the envoy on his remarkable and eventful tenure, which brought Nigeria working more closely with his country in areas of common interest. The president thanked the outgoing envoy for the long service and expressed the hope that his next assignment will be more successful. Recounting the high points of his 5-year stay in Nigeria, Ambassador Halasek noted with pride that the relations between Nigeria and his country had improved tremendously during the period. Nigeria, he said, is Slovakia's largest trading partner south of the Sahara, and there are even prospects of better relations going forward. This, he said, informed his facilitation of visits by Slovak and Nigerian officials to the two countries. Ambassador Halasek wished Nigeria peace and greater prosperity. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a joint delegation of the federal government and legislature to condole with the government and people of Borno State over Saturday's killing of rice farmers in Zabarimari village of Jere local government area of Borno State. The delegation, led by the Senate President Ahmad Lawan and Chief of Staff to the President Ibrahim Gambari, also visited bereaved families in Zabarimari village to convey the President's commiseration. Mohammed Ibrahim reports.
The first port of call was Government House, Maiduguri, where the Senate President Ahmed Lawan said President Muhammadu Buhari sends his heartfelt condolences to the government and people over the senseless and gruesome murder of farmers, with some still missing. He added that the President gives assurances of his continued commitment in fighting insurgency as no effort will be spared. As the country mourns those killed, he stressed that the country's armed forces have been given marching orders to take the fight to the insurgents' enclaves until they are finally rooted out of the country.
The federal government is surely going to step up its action against the insurgents, and as we mourn our dead, the President had asked the armed forces to take the battle, the fight, to the insurgents wherever they are, and this should be sustained. And we believe that it's a matter of time. A lot more of resources will be deployed, including, of course, recruitment of more military or soldiers to ensure that we have a good number of people that we need to fight for us.
The goodwill message to the government and people of Borno State. We're able to go to the village where the atrocities occurred, and were very well received by the people because they wanted to hear from the leaders to commiserate with the families and the community.
Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum expressed appreciation to President Buhari for the strong delegation, which goes to show his respect to those killed and for his continued support and commitment to ensure peace reigns in the state.
The government of Chad, the government of Cameroon, and the government of Niger in clearing the remnants of the insurgents in the shores of the Lake Chad and in Mandarake.
Governor Zulum appealed to the federal government to recruit Borno youths into the military and paramilitary to help fight the insurgents better with their local knowledge of insurgents' enclaves, and called for collaboration with neighboring countries of Chad, Cameroon, and Niger to stop remnants of insurgent fighters from hibernating in their territories. The federal delegation paid a similar visit to the Sheikh of Borno, where prayers were offered for those killed, and same was extended to bereaved families in Zabarmari village. The Senate President, flanked by the Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, 4 ministers, federal legislators, as well as Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media, Garba Shehu, condoled the community and gave the President assurances of strengthening security of their lives and property. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, says the ministry will consolidate on its collaboration with relevant ministries and agencies, as well as international donor agencies, in order to continually achieve the desired goals of improving the lives of the vulnerable and poor Nigerians. The minister stated this at the ministerial press briefing on the 2020 activities of the ministry. Eliasu Ali Yakubu reports.
The social investment program of the federal government, which included the conditional cash transfer of 5,000 naira to the poorest of the poor Nigerians, trader money, homeschool feeding program, and power job creation, among other social schemes, have touched the lives of millions of Nigerians since its creation in 2016. So the ministry's determination to consolidate on this feat for improved development of human existence, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs said, is sacrosanct. She said the agencies under the ministry have executed programs that have direct bearing on the lives and well-being of the citizenry, with collaboration with donor agencies and other relevant stakeholders. The minister said the ministry is formulating policy documents that will enhance its operations to better the lot of Nigerians in all spheres of human endeavors. On COVID-19 palliatives and other food distribution to IDPs, the minister said all the states of the Federation have been reached to cushion the effects of the COVID-19 lockdown.
We have also developed a plan for the post-COVID-19 recovery period, which are job creation, farmers' grants, and livelihood projects. Our strategy is to build resilient structures that include the Nigerian vulnerable youth and other vulnerable groups going forward. Palliatives. The ministry identifies its strategic role and impact in the everyday lives of the Nigerian. We want to assure the public that we are on ground working every day for Nigerians in the service for humanity.
In our ongoing effort to ensure that she reach out particularly to the vulnerable. It's a very challenging job. It's physically exhausting and mentally tasking. But with all due respect and with all sense of modesty and decency, I think the Honourable Minister has discharged her job honourably and efficiently and effectively.
While commending the ministry's management staff and heads of agencies for the unflinching support and determination which resulted in the achievement thus far, the minister enjoined them to be more critical in the journey ahead. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
In another development, key actors in COVID-19 humanitarian response interventions are reviewing their activities to build resilience and strengthen institutions for better responses. This is at the instance of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development at a one-day colloquium with stakeholders. Uche Ugochukwu reports.
The emergence of the coronavirus pandemic brought about disruptions in almost all aspects of life, prompting stakeholders to identify innovative ways to provide response to the new normal. It is in the light of this that this colloquium aimed at sharing experiences of humanitarian response as well as articulating best practices of lessons learned for future operations.
The proposed strategy is expected to feed into the ministry's framework of collaborative engagement for effective and efficient delivery of national humanitarian management with direct and sustainable impact on any Nigerian made vulnerable due to the crisis.
And I'm trusting that 2021 will become a year of greater collective action, efforts and solidarity.
Outcome of the colloquium will help guarantee a coordinated and cohesive approach to address humanitarian actions during and after COVID-19. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has insisted that non-pharmaceutical measures must be taken seriously to reduce the spike in number of cases, while nations including Nigeria await vaccines and response from the World Health Organization for the treatment of the pandemic. Elizabeth Omori reports on Monday's briefing of the task force.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is again urging Nigerians to adhere to non-pharmaceutical safety as global infections of the pandemic crossed 63 million, with Nigeria ranking 5th for both highest and cumulative cases and deaths in Africa.
The Primary Healthcare Development Agency and other sister organizations will be putting infrastructure in place to ensure that when we finally are able to access the vaccines and procure them for use, they will be able to speedily determine who are those that will benefit from the vaccines, because the vaccines will not be available for everybody at the same time. And that is another danger that is posed. And that underpins the emphasis I've always made. Therefore now, your only vaccine is to adhere to the non-pharmaceutical measures. That's the only thing that you have available.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Saige Ehanire, advised travelers into the country to make use of the travel portal to avoid being penalized this festive season.
PTF will continue to review protocols at our points of entry to be responsive to changing scenarios. Under no condition should we be lulled into complacency.
EDC have worked on the rapid test kits. We are awaiting the validation results. We hope that the outcome will be very positive. I'm very certain that we will start rolling out rapid test kits in January.
The COVAX facility is looking at about 30% of the vaccines to be donated and the rest to be bought by the respective countries. But this may change depending on resources that are continuing to be mobilized. So that's the status of the vaccines. It is expected, of course, with the developments you have heard quite recently, that indeed vaccines will become available on the market and countries will start to use.
On the National Sports Festival scheduled to hold in Benin, Edo State, the PTF chairman disclosed that new dates have been agreed upon early in 2021 and measures would be put in place to minimize infections. The PTF wants Nigerians to avoid unnecessary travels to reduce the spread of the disease. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Now, more than 150,000 transport vehicle owners across the country are to receive 30,000 naira each under the federal government's Artisans Transport Survival Fund scheme. This number forms part of the 333,000 artisans and transport operators earmarked to benefit from the scheme. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
In the hall here are representatives of the transport business operators who commend the federal government for the survival fund under the economic sustainability plan.
We also want to use this opportunity to appreciate the Buhari-led administration for remembering an ordinary man like Keke Okada to be remembered for this grant.
We will all enjoy our members to participate in this program.
We want to show our appreciation for carrying us along. This has not been happening. It's a good development. We appreciate it.
You won't know, no matter how small you might think it is, it goes a long way. At least showing that Mr. President has his citizens at heart. It will go a long way, and we are saying thank you very much.
For the impact of the COVID-19, what he has done to our business, this little token will uplift us a little.
We have learned a lot from the program. The national coordinator, Tola Johnson, says, as he explains how effective the model which made payment of the grants to the beneficiaries directly is.
Let the money go straight to the people's hands. We're tired of paying middlemen money to give to people. they cut their money, they don't get it, then you now give them peanuts and think that you're doing them favors. That has stopped. That's the directive from Mr. President. It has stopped. Not with the survival fund. We have paid people, we keep paying people. Taxi driver, bus drivers, keke napep drivers, okada riders, cart pushers, etc. To take advantage of this scheme, it is absolutely free. Do not pay anyone to benefit.
Like Oliver Twist, the beneficiaries requested the federal government to extend the grants to more Nigerians to cushion the effect of the weak economy as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And saddled with the burden of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years, the federal government is again training young professionals in commodities export through the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to key into the vast export market. Chimobi Walter Naji was at the inauguration and now reports.
Since the president made the pronouncement on his intention to lift 100 Nigerians out of poverty, a lot of conscious efforts has been put in place to achieve this. And they include the introduction of 75 billion naira MSME Survival Fund embedded inside the 2.3 trillion naira Economic Sustainability Fund.
As a young person myself, I know what it is like to desire to create a career for yourself that you will be proud of.
This time, another 25 young professionals are being engaged by the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment through the Commodities Exports Department and the Young Professionals Program to build the capacity of young people in meeting the challenges of emerging economies.
The CEDYP is designed for young officers in the department who have proven potentials and have passions for national development, passion to be mentored, and can acquire relevant professional experience that will aid them to grow into impactful leaders. It is my belief that programs like young professionals will play a significant role in filling knowledge gaps where it exists in the system. In today's digital world, multiplicity as well as diversity of talents are required for the work that needs to be done with high velocity of change around us.
These 25 people are among the first phase of the engagements, as the initiative will help fill the gap of manpower development and open the young people to international opportunities. In Abuja, Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
You're watching the NTA Network News. Let's go on a break.
This laudable initiative begins. Announcer, Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources.
Welcome back. As we tell you that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has rearranged the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, for his alleged complicity in grass-cutting contract fraud to the tune of about 554 million naira. He was rearranged before Justice Charles Abwaza at the Abuja High Court, Maitama, alongside 6 others on an amended 10-count charge preferred against them by the EFCC. The former secretary to the government of the Federation was alleged to have connived with other defendants and illegally diverted a contract of the Presidential Initiative for Northeast awarded for the removal of grasses and internally displaced persons camps to his own company. The defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges read to them. They are, however, retaining the existing bail conditions earlier granted them. The defendants' rearrangement followed the demise of the former trial judge, Justice Jude Okeke. Justice Charles Abwaza has fixed 20th of January for trial. The federal government says it has put in place programs and policies that will make the tourism sector a key priority in growth of the nation's economy. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this in Makudi at the formal takeoff of the North Central Zonal Headquarters of the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism. Anthony Folsen reports.
The National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism was donated to the Institute, a para-startup under the Ministry of Information and Culture. It will help train manpower for the hospitality industry. It is in the light of this that the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, said the Benue State government has succeeded in encouraging growth in the sector with the provision of an institution that will help grow the sector.
It was no wonder then that the present federal government is doing everything possible to encourage tourism development in Nigeria, because the benefits derivable therein are tremendous.
The minister added that with global tourism experiencing an extraordinary growth, unlike other trades, it has become a major catalyst for economic growth and social well-being of the citizenry.
The hospitality industry in Nigeria contributed about 4.8% to Nigeria's total national output in the year 2016. In addition, according to PricewaterhouseCoopers 2019 Hospitality Report, the Nigerian hospitality industry is expected to grow by 12% yearly till year 2023.
Governor Samuel Otong, who was represented by his deputy, expressed gratitude over the will of President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment in developing the tourism sector, saying Benue is rich in tourism.
As we all know, hospitality and tourism businesses are the driving forces behind the development of most advanced economies of the world. It is becoming very clear that the position of oil as a leading revenue earner in most oil-producing countries is gradually diminishing.
There are a lot of entrepreneurial skills people can acquire in this subsector of tourism, such as tour guiding, tour operation, travel agency operation, parks and garden operation.
Not only to thank His Excellency, but also to thank the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture for the privilege to sack this zonal training headquarters in Makurdi.
Courses to be offered at the Institute will be for the award of certificates, basic and advanced certificate, diploma, professional certificate, graduate diploma, and postgraduate diploma. In Makurdi, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has expressed gratitude for the support from the federal government, especially in checking insecurity in the state. The governor stated this when Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed visited him in Government House, Makurdi. Anthony Forson once more reports.
Samuel Otom, who told the minister that there is a great improvement in security situation in the state, explained that over 400 arrests have been made and some already convicted and serving jail terms, or as the conviction spells out.
Any progress made by federal government institution here in Benue State is an added value to the development of Benue State.
On agriculture, Samuel Otom applauded the federal government's agricultural revolution program, saying it is the only way youth's restiveness can be curtailed.
We want to appreciate federal government for that bold step, and we look forward that we continue. And again, it will encourage more farmers. Most of these youths that are idling, that ended up with NSAS, will be engaged.
For Lai Mohammed, the federal government is doing a lot with a very lean resources, with conscious efforts, so that every segment of the country feels a sense of belonging. He used the opportunity to thank the governor for the donation of an institute that will cater for the manpower development of hospitality and tourism industry.
Which is also going to serve as the zona headquarters for the north central of Naotu. But at the same time, will be the flagship training institute for Naotu, an institute that is going to attract students from not just every part of Nigeria, but from even outside the country.
As a state with rich cultural heritage, the minister was dressed in the major Benue ethnic nationality attire. In Makurdi, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
To other matters now, as the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Muhammadu Nanono, has applauded the present administration's initiatives and interventions in the agricultural sector despite the current effect of novel coronavirus around the globe. The minister was speaking during the flag-off ceremony of the 2020 dry season trans-boundary aerial and ground control operations against migratory pests in Kano. Elizabeth Yela Lamido reports.
In view of the destructive effects of migratory pests, 12 states from the northeast and northwestern parts of the country are targeted for the aerial and ground control operations. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Sabo Nanono, said the intervention will help eliminate the obstacles that endangers the nation's food security.
As we did during the rainy season, we managed to tackle the problem during the rainy season, and about 6 states that were attacked, we managed to get rid of these koala bats. We have to also be proactive to make sure that we take measures to attack this problem of koala bats when they come.
The minister also disclosed that the federal government has appropriated funds to support 2.4 million small-scale farmers who have 1 to 5 acres of land across the federation. The Deputy Governor, Kano State, Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna, said the dry season's transboundary pest intervention will help farmers in safeguarding their crops. An inspection and flight demonstration of the spraying exercise for migratory birds such as squaler birds, armyworm, and grasshoppers was carried out. In Kano, Elizabeth Yilalamido, NTA News.
A one-stop center to provide psychological, medical and legal services for children who are sexually abused have been launched in Abuja. The CC Yara Child Advocacy Foundation, which will ensure that cases of sexually abused children are addressed, will enjoy the support of the Ministry of Women Affairs. Ruth Aguele reports.
Innocent, fragile and helpless, but often fall victim of praise to people who take advantage of their weakness to sexually assaulting them, most times in families, schools, communities, and other places where children should feel safe. To save the child, this advocacy center is coming on board to serve as haven for sexually abused children, especially the girl child. The center is expected to provide essential services in terms of collation of data for victims, special child forensic interview to allow for valuable information from children, counseling, medical care, legal support, and among other services.
The child belongs to all, and we must protect the child. I appeal to all men and women of goodwill, not just to sympathize with the situation, but to act. It's a time to act. It's a call for action. We must all be part of this crusade.
So we're still dealing with a lot of underreporting. People do still mistrust the system. And what we need to do is to build awareness, reach out and help them, provide them a safe space for them to come, disclose their abuse, and for us to hold perpetrators to account.
The goal here is to ensure children access to justice and stigmatization amongst abused children, because every child counts. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
The chairman, managing director of Ray Rail Construction Company, Reverend Matthew Opebolo, has constructed a 1-kilometer road in Auchi Polytechnic, Edo State. Victor Odionacha reports that the project is worth 150 million naira.
1-kilometer road is in fulfillment of the promise made to the Polytechnic by the philanthropist when he was honored with the prestigious fellowship of the institution last year. The road, which has side drains and other components, connects the sports complex to the School of Environmental Studies. The donor, who has also announced that the road will be maintenance-free for the next 25 years, said he is committed to giving back to the society as God continues to bless him.
God is involved. God has been very, very faithful to me. Father, because of that, I see anything I give out as a blessing. Sometimes we think that what we are giving out, we are losing it. No. It is what we give out, we gain. And as I told you, I say I have breakfast in my house. If it's not disturbing me for what I want. So what gives me joy is what I give out.
The Minister of Education, Malam Adamu Adamu, who was represented, called on other well-meaning Nigerians to make giving their habit, like Reverend Opebolo.
I commend Right Reverend Dr. Matthew Opebolo
for his thoughtfulness, commitment, and dedication to the cause of educational development in this nation. The Federal Ministry of Education also acknowledges your annual bursary award to indigent students and infrastructural support to both private and public educational institutions.
The acting rector of the Polytechnic, Malam Mustafa Zubai, is amazed that the donor committed 150 million naira to the project and completed it in record time.
To the glory of God, today we are doing it. And we also saw what the man did. I think to a level, it is a developmental project that had more beauty to the Polytechnic. And by His grace, we make maximum use of it.
We are a pledge to what we have earned. And you can now see that the gazumping prices has made that 50 million 150 million.
Reverend Matthew Okpewolo was presented an award of excellence by the students and hosted to a reception by the school management in Auchi. Victor Odion Acha, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with Professor Jerry Ghana on his 75th birthday, congratulating him for a life of service to country, humanity and God. Professor Ghana, who came into national and global limelight at an early age, worked variously as head of critical institutions, including mass mobilization for social justice and economic recovery, Minister of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Information and Culture, as well as cooperation and integration. President Buhari believes Professor Ghana's zeal to see the country grow clearly distinguishes him, saying, however, that more commitment is required with his experience, knowledge, and wisdom. The president prays that the former minister will continue to find favor with God for longer life, good health, and strength. Network News continues with Michael Olaleye in Lagos Network Center.
Thank you, Kene. Traders whose shops have been demolished along the fringes of Fiber Market are appealing to the Lagos State government to provide them with an alternative location to ply their trade. The traders, however, say, contrary to reports by its task force, the members did not have any dangerous weapons or hard drugs found in their possession. Dotun Ogunyemi reports.
Friday, 27th November 2020, traders along this corridor at Fagba hosted officials of the Lagos State Task Force who were on a mission to demolish illegal shanties and containerized shops. The area has been largely peaceful, with traders of all ethnicity coexisting peacefully. But trouble, however, started in October when a livestock carrying truck was denied access to the market, killing some of the livestock, which got the traders upset.
The people that burn this market does not concern people are here. They came from far place.
The aftermath of the demolition have left these one-time small business owners stranded. Despite being told to leave, they are still lurking around with a feeling of hopelessness about their condition. Faith Paul is a graduate of mass communication who has been forced into trading here.
Okay, if they want us to leave, they should have at least give us somewhere to go. Or if at all they want us to leave, they should just give us this year.
The task force says after the expiration of a 7-day removal order, an additional 21-day grace was given. Aruna Hassan, a father of 10, however, says no additional days of grace was given.
So I started making it come out. They never give us any place to do business, to find what you person go chop. After 2 weeks, now them can destroy everything.
The displacement as a result of the demolition has left the traders asking what next, as they admitted that their structures, though illegal, but claim to pay several authorities, including officials of the Lagos State government. I contacted the Public Relations Unit of the task force to confirm this allegation. The insistence of the task force is that the activities of the traders continued to pose security threats to residents of the area. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
As A senior medical laboratory scientist from the Medical Center, University of Lagos, Abiodun Fashino, has emerged the 2020 ISN Medical Laboratory Scientist of the Year. He was honored at the grand finale of the main edition of the prestigious award organized by ISM Products Nigeria Limited in Lagos. Imole Ayotokede reports that the award is designed to honor heroes involved in research for the prevention and possible cure of COVID-19.
The man of the hour, Abiola Fashino, was rewarded with a cash prize of 1 million naira. He will also get capacity development training. In addition to these, free medical laboratory equipment and reagents worth 1 million naira will be presented to the hospital where he currently works.
I feel elated, glad, and most importantly, inspired. That is not just an award for me, it's an inspiration to do more.
The first runner-up, Anayo Chidobu, a quality assurance manager from L Lab Diagnostic and Research Center, Lagos, received 750,000 naira, while the second runner-up, Yahaya Usman, a laboratory scientist from Hamadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria, was rewarded with 500,000 naira. Like Fashino, both winners will embark on a capacity development training. The executive director, ISN Products Nigeria Limited, Felix Ofungu, stated that the award was instituted as part of the company's contribution towards encouraging and promoting excellence among medical laboratory scientists in Nigeria.
ISN Products Nigeria Limited has been in business for 40 years. We've been engaging with this community of lab scientists throughout that time, and we know the value of their role in the healthcare value chain, and we thought it was very important to highlight that role that they play.
It's a kind of partnership we had always advocated in the health sector between the practitioners and the industry. And we thank the ISN for the very beautiful program.
The top 3 winners are among the 10 finalists who were shortlisted from over 600 applicants. 7 other candidates got the consolation prize of 200,000 naira each. ISN Products Nigeria Limited pledges to make the awards a yearly affair in order to promote quality and accuracy in diagnosis. In Lagos, Imole Ayotokede, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports with Kene shortly after this break. Please.
Welcome back. Moplang Dakok has our business news.
Thank you, Kene. Good evening and welcome to Business News. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has advised the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to get the country a unified exchange rate for the Naira, just as the Naira remains stable at 378 Naira to a dollar on CBN's official rate, while it is exchanging at 500 Naira to a dollar at the parallel market. The currency got to a long-time low after weakening by 4 Naira from 496 Naira to a dollar as it closed on Friday. The IMF said the Nigerian economy is struggling with multiple shocks and is expected to grow by -4.3% in 2020 before a modest recovery of 1.7% in 2021. Experts at a lecture by the Institute of Strategic Entrepreneurs of Nigeria have re-echoed that entrepreneurship is key to solving the unemployment situation in the country. They submit that Nigeria's economic growth is slower, and it's slower in its numerical growth and not enough to lift the bottom half of the population out of poverty. Therefore, entrepreneurs are much needed to help government's efforts to make this country a producing nation from being a consuming nation.
Self-employed and also employer of laborers, and produce those things that are valuable for us to have the value chain for them to be exported. We know that we look beyond the conventional oil that every state government come to Abuja monthly to collect their allocation and go. We start looking inward into what they have.
Everybody is now depending on entrepreneurship for survival. So entrepreneurship will only drive the economy because we have a lot of youths that are idle. But through entrepreneurship, they will be able to bring up resources, and Nigeria will be able to export, and we even have enough.
Nigeria has a lot of potentials of becoming economically vibrant and giant country in the world because of some other reasons. One, because of population.
And the bulls had it this Monday on the Nigerian stock market as the NSE All-Share Index appreciated by 0.45% to close at 35,042.14 basis points, as against 0.24% appreciation recorded previously. Market capitalization rose to 18.3 trillion naira, while 415 million shares were exchanged on the floor of the exchange, valued at 4.8 billion naira. Market breadth closed negative as ICO led 17 gainers as against 29 losers, topped by NNFM at the end of today's session. Multiverse, Zenith Bank and Transcorp were the most active to boost market turnover, while Zenith Bank and Airtel Africa topped market value list. And with the stock market, we end business news this night. Kene?
Thank you very much.
All right.
At a period when international travelers are impeded by the fears of COVID-19, Nigeria is increasingly showing its citizens that they can actually be at home and enjoy memorable moments without having to go out. Hamisu Rogo reports that there are several iconic places in the country that deserve to be destinations for international tourism, but are hardly even known by locals.
Nigeria never failed to give images of beauty. More than that beauty is abundance of possibilities for greatness. I was in Jos, Plateau State capital, for a week of the National Festival of Arts and Culture. On the sideline of that fiesta, I took a trip to one of the most iconic places in the country, located in the Plateau. It is the Aso Falls. Plateau State always prides itself as the home of tourism. But believe me, nowhere is this expression more definitive than in this place, the Asab Waterfall. Asab Waterfall is located at the depths of Hawenkibo. Hawenkibo is definitely one of the most iconic parts of Plateau State. It is a Riem local government, and it's a conglomeration of hills that do not seem to stop. That is precisely where the Asab Waterfall is located. And then, of course, it is a work of art. It is like a poetry. It is like a nature shedding tears. It is a place of beauty. Aso Fall is one of the several endowments of Nigeria that can really influence the fortune of the country. Yet there are places still to be discovered by Nigerians.
Wonderful. A good place to be. Unbelievably Nigerian. And I think nobody has really discovered it. We only talk about it, but we have not discovered it.
So when you discovered it, what did you see?
Then, once we discover, then people come. This place should not be empty. You can see it's empty.
Aso Fall is perennial. Although the volume of water falls with the dry season, its source is a body of rock in Kuru, near Jos, and it empties in River Kaduna. Many people interested with the tourism feel the place needs to be given a lift.
This is what we call ecotourism, and we reduce the modernism in places like this. We could easily put cable cars to come here, but cable cars are not designed for places like this. The fun here is your ability to descend and your ability to ascend.
The issue generally is that Nigeria is a treasure chest of the beauty of nature. And with or without COVID-19, Nigerians don't need to look further home for their tourism needs. In Jos, the Plateau State capital, Mohammed Hamis Rogo, NTA News.
Thank you, Rogo. Let's now go on another break. Do stay with us. And that's NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks to you for watching. My name is Kene Imba Abudike. Good night.